back. If you're already subscribed or have watched a few of my other videos, I'll be producing a lot more. So please like. It's the free tip that, you know, the least thing that you could do for me in order for me to be seen more. If you find that my information and creative insight and perspective is needed and need to be seen more in the world, please support, subscribe, and give a thumbs up and share with your friends, family, kids, whomever who may benefit from any of my videos, as well as it's not just for yourself. It is a tool, or astrology is a tool to gain insight within yourself, as well as be a little bit more patient and empathetic towards other people's personal birth charts and their challenges that they are here to explore. So I am Natasha. I call myself an astrological birth chart counselor, as I take the tool of astrology and using that in a creative way and a counseling approach, mixing my background of art and interest in creative thinking and analyzing and oh, what was I gonna say? And using that in a counseling approach. I have a master's in mental health counseling, and I have a Chiron and Gemini in the 9th house. So I'll explain more of that perspective in future videos as to why I am here. And this path has found me. So yeah, you're not seeing all the dirty work and hardships, setbacks, disappointments, all the educational finances and all of that stuff. You are seeing the presentation that I'm giving to you in this video, or these videos. So today I am talking about Virgo. It represents the 6th house of the Zodiac, and it is the earth sign, the mutable earth sign of the Zodiac. So all of us have all 12 zodiac signs within our own chart. So all the energies are within us. It's just that we have more prominent planets and sometimes a multitude of planets within one zodiac sign or one house. So it really depends on you, as well as, you know, you have free choice to kind of act in the positive aspects of any of these signs, as well as you have the choice to keep acting in the negative aspects of these zodiac signs. So the more you heal, you are self-aware, so you can catch yourself and do so, you'll just feel more at peace, and sometimes feel or allow yourself to kind of let go a little bit with things that you can't control. Or for you, Virgo, if you are a Virgo, not be so critical about other people and not as critical over yourself. Give yourself some grace. So Virgo, on the body parts, I'm also talking about a little bit of the body parts that each sign represents, because they kind of relate to their sign. So Virgo represents the digestive system, the actual intestines, and the spleen. So the 6th house, or Virgo, mutable earth, which is mutable, okay? Mutable is, you know, the sign that kind of goes back and forth between the cardinal and the fixed. And so the earth signs, cardinal is Capricorn, and the fixed sign of the earth signs are Taurus. And then earth represents our reality here on earth. It is the realities of life in the world and how you have to survive, and finances, or energy. How do you exchange energy in order to survive on this planet we call Earth? So Virgo is one of the workaholics of the zodiac sign. It represents the daily routine, the little daily things that we habitually do as a human being or a life. So it represents health. So overall health care, what you put in your mouth, your sleep quality. You wake up, you go to the bathroom, you brush your teeth, wash your face. You do these little routine things in order to maintain a health regimen. And it's just the things that you do, you know, like you don't really think about it. Or the daily habits that you choose to build, because you can also choose to not brush your teeth. You know, realistically, you can choose to skip, but there's going to be a consequence of you're going to have cavities, or you're just going to lose your teeth when you're old, and you're going to have to suck it up and get some dentures. So Virgo is like acts of service, the daily routine, lists, organization, things that you have to do and fit it all in within a day. It's scheduling, working with other people. It's acts of service, helping other people. You want to help, because even the little tip or little thing that you can do for someone else, you know, is going to help them get what they want. Or like being very detail oriented, catching those things, like catching something in a contract that could have messed up someone's life. A Virgo would be really good at that. Or looking at the fine print contracts, or finances, like are all the numbers on that Excel spreadsheet correct, you know, and if something is wrong, you know, it's like, hey, this one doesn't seem quite right. Or in like the medical industry, you know, we need Virgos who are like, hey, this looks like something that we need to catch or be aware of, especially since we're already going to go in and do surgery in there. So let's go ahead and take a look at that, or in a scan, you know. So it can play out in that way. It is ruled by Mercury. So Mercury is a very thinking sign. Mercury also rules Gemini, but Gemini is like the air sign, the mutable air sign. So this is the mutable earth sign. So it's always thinking, because you always have to plan, think, rethink, in order to fit all the details of how something actually works, you know. And Virgo is the opposite of Pisces. So Pisces is dreams, no boundaries, no rules, no lists, no organization, no structure. It dissolves everything, because it's our dreams. It just magically appears, and we don't know how to actually make it happen or put it together. So Virgo is a sign of like, okay, if you do have a dream, or you have some kind of aspiration, or you want to look a certain way, you want to have six-pack abs or whatever, okay, let's make a plan. And we're going to follow a plan, stick with it on a day-to-day basis, and the results will follow. And if the plan does not seem to work, we're going to reevaluate what that plan looked like, do some research, dig a little bit, read everything, get information, criticize what didn't work and what does work, and filter out, you know, from your own resources and knowledge of how to make that plan better, you know. So it's always working, always thinking, working, planning, sticking with the routine. Routine is very important to a Virgo. And Virgos, because they're so detail oriented in how to actually get things done, or how things actually work, you know, and they want to genuinely help when they're in a healthy, you know, mind state, that they can become very critical of themselves as well as other people. It's one of those perfectionist signs because they're thinking about the detail. They're not just thinking about like, oh, just put stuff where, here, there, everywhere, and we'll just get to it whenever we get to it. It's like, no, we have to just do it now. Like, keep up with the cleaning as you go along. Like, don't just wait for it to pile up, or don't just be a hoarder. Like, filter out what you don't need. You know, like, you have to actually do the work, even if it seems boring and mundane or something that can wait. A Virgo energy is like, hey, we need to go clean the room. We need to do the laundry and clean the sheets. We're running out of clothes. You shouldn't just go buy more clothes because you don't want to wash your clothes. You have tons of clothes, and you're saying that you're broke and you can't afford anything, and you're trying to get a better job, but you refuse to just do the laundry and want to buy more clothes. Like, that doesn't make any sense. You know, like, a Virgo is going to think, you know, like, critically of like, what the hell are you doing? You know, because they're trying to help you, but some people don't seem to want to be helped, or they don't want to help themselves. And so that makes a Virgo very furious, like internally, like overthinking, arguing, ruminating on thoughts, and criticizing, or like criticizing themselves, like they need to be better, or they should have done or said something in a better way, or they hurt someone else's feelings and they shouldn't have done that. You know, they're very, very hard on themselves. You know, so depending on where Virgo is in your chart, this is kind of how that house is operating. So I have Virgo in my 12th house. So the way I think, process, and organize is running in my subconscious mind of where my dreams should be. So I do exude this kind of Virgo way of thinking and mentality in order to get everything done, even though I'm not a Virgo and I actually don't have any sign. I don't have any actual sign in my chart in the sign of Virgo, but it does operate it is the leader of my 12th house. So that's why it's important to know all of these archetypes and know your actual chart and the planets and where they are, and any opposition squares, pleasant aspects, other ones, so you can kind of not let these planets take such a strong hold over you. It's really hard to completely change who you are, of course, because we were conditioned since childhood to we absorbed certain information, and we were conditioned in an environment where we were kind of like pinned into a certain kind of way of survival, whether that was pretty good overall for the most part, or it was really, really bad. And so knowing these things about yourself can kind of help just make you a little bit more aware, as it's an outside perspective, as me as a reader giving that to you, or it's just your actual chart, you know. So it's like a map or a tool to help guide you, depending on what you actually believe. It's like our soul wanted to learn certain things in this life, or pursue a certain experience or lifelong experience, and so you had to get somewhat of an opposite effect in order to create that internal energy to become the person that you wanted to be, but at the same time give you those baseline tools to also become the person that you wanted to be. And so you got zapped down into a family, household, and environment, location where that can happen for you, and we're unconscious. So think of it as a rememberable tool of yourself, and what little stars and energies that you put, you know, in your soul within this little human body, because it's impossible to put all the energies within one human being. That would just be too much. We would just implode. So yeah, so Virgo is just all the nitty gritty, mundane, workaholic things in life. They're some of the most helpful people that you can come across. Like, they are eager and willing to help out, and they genuinely care for others and their well-being. And if you have not come across a healthy minded, or they're acting out in a certain way, they could be just simply so frustrated, irritated, burdened with so much work, that, you know, you never know what other people are going through. And you know, they may not get as much help as what they're giving out, you know. So there's always a balance for everyone. Virgo, like, I get along with a lot of Virgos. That's probably because I'm kind of like that in my own way. My refrigerator is super organized and super clean. Virgo energy can be very OCD in a way, like a perfectionist. So the negative side of that is sometimes you want something to be so perfect that you don't even start something, or it needs to be so perfect that, you know, anything less of that, like, there's like a self-esteem issue, or you're not good enough, or the help is not going to be like taken in a way where it actually helps someone, because it's like you really have to look at the fine detail. So depending on what your job is, like a engineer, or someone who works for NASA, or like a stock, what do you call it, an investor who needs to really pay attention to make sure they didn't have like a dyslexia moment on an equation or in a spreadsheet that can ruin everything. And people who invest so much money or time or whatever, and this tiny little mistake, you know, cost everyone the entire project, or lost a ton of money, that would be like so burdensome on that Virgo. Like, oh my God, like everyone suffered, or the entire project was ruined because of me, and that was my job to you know, pick that out or point that out. Or missing like cancer or a tumor on a scan, and it was like kind of obvious, but of course the patient usually doesn't have like a medical degree, or just pretend that they don't, so they don't know anything. So how are they going to recognize what is a cancer on like a MRI scan or something? You know, like, they're not going to know. And if you miss that, you know, you're tired, frustrated, you just didn't want to work, you know, and wanted to have a break, like, that is like, oh my God, like someone now has stage 4 or 5 cancer and is going to die because I missed something so small. Like, that hurts a Virgo archetype. So they really want to help, and they tend to be kind of perfectionists in that way. And so think of the organs that it represents, like the intestines, and the spleen. So it's looking through and sorting out what the body needs to be nourished and what needs to be released and discarded. So it's always working and filtering, just like in a little factory line of like, we're going to take, this goes in the good pile, this goes in the bad pile, you know, and always sorting over and over and over and over again, because that is the daily routine of life. And that is their job. And they can be very critical of the, you know, the organs. If they have little mouth and eyes, they can be critical of the human being eating Cheetos and pizza, beer and Coca-Cola every single day, and it's like, I can't use this, I can't use this, I can't use this. I guess I have to take a little bit of this because this is the only tiny little good piece of meat, you know, and I had to scrape off all this like deep fried oil, bad seed oils and stuff on it just to get this teeny tiny piece of like quality meat that's not even good quality meat, but we'll take it because everything that we're getting is crap. And so it's just like having to filter, you know, and be like, okay, this is our health, and you know, I'm trying to tell you that, you know, like if you keep doing this over and over and over again, that we are gonna die, or we're going to lead ourselves to diabetes or cancer or all this stuff. And no matter what I try to say or do or whatever, this person just wants to have their escapism behavior in food and bad habits, even though it's like there's so much information out there, research and everything. Like, it's not about the knowledge or the information that's plentiful all over the internet, and so much money has been spent on those things. It's because the person is not wanting to do the actual hard work or relearn any habits and cravings and addictions that are self-defeating and slowly leading them towards a path of pain, obesity, diabetes, heart attack, stroke, cancer, getting their foot amputated, all kinds of weird stuff, not fitting, having self-esteem problems, not fitting into clothes, you know, having these kind of weird interactions with people when they don't fit, you know, in a normal size seat, you know, and knowing this on the inside, but, you know, like, what were you thinking? You know, this is like the critical side of a Virgo, and it may sound kind of like a put down or they're being mean, but they're doing it out of love and because they want you to be better. But at the end of the day, the end of the day are in control of that, no one else. So it is just, because I'm a Virgo 12th house, but no planets in there. Just start small. Everything Virgo is like small, detailed stuff. They can be too fixated on the small, nitty-gritty things in life, but have to kind of learn to let go. And it's like, I can't help and fix everyone. People need to help and fix themselves too. And so that kind of makes them, you know, really anxious. You know, it's kind of like anxiety. So small, tiny, actual behavior changes help with, you know, creating a new routine, something so simple and so small, to either add that you know is healthy and good, to take away something that you know is not good for you, and you're willing in the moment to like really commit to not drinking soda, for example, just cutting it out, or knowing that, you know, you're eating a lot of sugary processed stuff and it's kind of preventing you from progress, and committing that, like, okay, if you're not ready to quit eating 10 cookies a day, that you are going to commit to only eating 5 cookies a day, you know, like something. Or I'm not going to eat cookies, I'm going to replace it with something better, that's not as bad. I don't know, like a fruit, you know, because it's also kind of sweet, but it's healthier. You know, anything that works for you, that is a habit change. And eventually when that habit becomes normal or effortless as you embody that new habit, then it's like you become a new upgraded version of yourself. And then you add on another layer. So that is kind of the Virgo thing. Just like when learning anything new or learning anything that we just are not the best at and we need like a tutor or help, you go ask for that help or that assistance or that accountability. And then you progress, you know, so there's not just one level and you're like, okay, I did it, I'm good. It's like, well, now you have to go to the next level. Just like in school, they organized it to first grade, second grade, whatever. No one's going to expect you to jump from first grade to 12th grade to getting a PhD and then writing a textbook. Like, it just doesn't usually work out that way. And if it does, that is an extremely rare person, and that is like a one segment of whatever that person is a genius at. But it doesn't work for everything. So that's just kind of a Virgo archetype, as well as a Virgo-like lecture that a Virgo would try and help you with your health and how to do it on a very easy yet not so easy way of changing a behavior that you've become so accustomed to every single day. Because you are, at the end of the day, you are your habits. You are who you hang around with. You are what you watch, what you listen to. All of those things repeatedly over and over and over again is conditioning you, or programming you, whatever definition you want to take for that. When you grow up in a family household, if it was toxic and violent, you are being conditioned to be on edge. You're being conditioned to hear and learn what how to be manipulative. You're learning what covert, tactics there are, like what one person does to the other and what normal people don't really see from the outside. There's a quality of that is going to be with you, that you know better how to do than others. And if you have to unlearn anything that doesn't serve you, or if you keep attracting people who end up being like your toxic parent, but in a new body, new face, that like you fell for the love and affection because you deeply want that love and affection too, and it matches because you come from the same trauma, then eventually when the honeymoon phase falls away, or after time goes by, and you won't notice that you did the same things that your parents did in order to get the unhappy result that you thought and wanted to avoid the entire time. And you thought you avoided it and got it all down and right. But at the end of the day, you didn't look deep enough within yourself and the conditioning that you also had. You didn't keep up with the daily habits, preventing that, because we can easily fall into our old ways of being, and you end up with a new version of the old thing that you never wanted. So those are the detail-oriented daily things that we are aware of, as well as not aware of. That is all kind of like the Virgo archetype, and that is my Virgo lecture for you. So yes, so it's like pretty much the recap of Virgo. day-to-day routine. It's also one of the 3 houses that we can kind of look at when thinking of our career and career interests. The 2nd, 6th, and 10th house. It can give you some clues as to what kind of energy you present in the career field, or what you might be interested in, because Virgo is a workaholic sign, Capricorn is also a workaholic sign, and then Taurus is like super stable and grounded and wants their financial security hardcore there for them to enjoy the pleasures of life. So you have all 12 zodiac signs in your chart. It's good to be aware and know your chart, self-reflect. And if you want a birth chart reading and my analysis of you, my creative analysis of you, and any points that I might be able to give you, because I don't actually know you and I don't know your life or anything like that. I'm just reading the chart. You can book one at www.natashascreativewellness.com. There will be a link down below, and you can go to the scheduling booking tab on my site. Click the earliest day and time, as it's a pre-recorded reading anyway. You don't actually meet with me. And once I get that done, then I'll email it to you at a private link, and you can watch it, reflect on it, possibly reject it in the beginning, but maybe later on things might click and you'll go, oh, like it does, describe me. When I first really analyzed my chart and researched it, I rejected a chunk of it. It's like, no, it's not like that. But then, like, when I saw it, I thought about it in a different way and researched even more. It's like, I am actually like that, even though I had so much pride over my sun sign. So it's good to get different perspectives and insights, I believe. Not everyone is going to be as open-minded to that. So, and then I have products. If you're not interested in a birth chart reading but want to still support, I have journals, yoga mats, other things. I have a poster of me when I did like a bodybuilding figure show. That was like 10 years ago. It was in 2015. So if you're motivated to work out and you need some poster of some random girl that you found on YouTube, and it works for you, like everyone finds motivation in different ways, then hey, go at it. Just don't personally cross any of my boundaries, because it is not wanted in any way that's not respectful. Okay. I just want to put that out there. So yes, book a reading. Please like, share, and subscribe. Look at other videos that I have in the playlist. I'm going to be putting out more and more and more, as much as I can as this just develops. So I'll see you next time. Okay, bye. So high, so high, so high.